All right, good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday, March 13th. And as usual, doing analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So daily bias on US 30 bullish, daily bias on gold bullish, daily bias on EU bullish, daily bias on the US dollar is bearish. And as usual, we don't really trade the first 15 minutes of market open, but looking at the levels we have a inner supply zone here for US 30 at 39,150. I've already set an alert for that. Let's see what zones or what order block areas we may have around here. So for US 30, nothing around that zone. So that's actually good. Based off of where price is at. So I'll turn that off. For the 30-minute time frame, we can see we have inner supply. Actually, we have a current inner supply that's running on US 30, but again, I prefer to wait until market or until 9:45. So we might get this trade if US 30 retraces back up. This is on the 30-minute time frame. And I already have an alert set up there. We have a buy zone down here. So we'll just wait for this alerts to get triggered. So same thing, we don't have any order blocks around here. We have what? The weekly high and current monthly high, which is the current high that's been established. For gold, nothing really almost immediate. Nothing immediate here for gold. I do see this zone here, but yeah, no, nothing immediate for gold based off of where gold is at. Let me see something. Yeah, I don't see that as so it would have to go all the way up there. For the 30-minute time frame, nothing for gold as well. EU. So EU is currently this 30-minute inner supply that I'd sent yesterday, and you see it got tapped exactly to the pip. But I don't trade pre-New York, so I'm not in this trade. This is just the markup we had done. But we'll see if those zones are still valid. So here, the 15-minute zone would have to be all the way up here. So nothing on the 15-minute. Actually, zones. There's a current 15-minute zone, sell zone right here. Yeah, I don't like that 15-minute one. This 30-minute one. So this is still a valid zone. And let's look at the markup. So we have a weekly bearish order block here as well. So yeah, so this is still a nice sell area for EU. So if EU comes back up here, and I have a alert set up there. So this would be also a nice sell on EU, but we would have to wait for price to retrace, possibly to the upside. But that's the trade from yesterday. So I'm not in this trade. Just waiting on, yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is the EU setup from yesterday on 30 minutes. So I'm not in this one. So I'll just move it to the side so that it's not confusing. But the zone is still active. So if EU comes back up here, I'll be looking to take that sell on the 30-minute. But if you guys do take trades like before New York session, you'd have already been in this trade. Going to the hourly timeframes. These are the current hourly setups on US 30. So this zone was valid before market open. Again, I don't take market open trades, but this one was a nice, and keep in mind, I wouldn't be really sending this trade. I don't send out every trade idea in the Discord because it's a bunch of trades, but this was a trade that I'd marked up before New York session. and you can see price tapped that zone because we have this little zone right here, right? Again, remember, if you're selling, you want to go to the highest zone. But unless price gets here at like 945, so I'll move this. I'm not in that one, but the zone is still valid. But keep in mind, I only trade like at least 15 minutes after New York open. So is this zone still valid? If we look at it, yes, it is. So I'll go ahead and put an alert at 39,105 so that if price gets here, we get alerted, and then I would be looking to take that entry there. So I do see some US 30 trades for today. Give me 1 second. All right, so I put an alert there. So if price comes back up here after our 15-minute threshold, which is in 5 minutes, I'll be looking to take this US 30 sell. And you can see that rejection. That's the rejection we want. And we also have the previous daily high above there. So this is a nice trade as well. I think there's also another trade up there. But currently, let's see, for US 30 on the 15-minute, the sell zone is 39,148, 30-minute, 39,148 as well. On the 1 hour, it's 39,103. So between the three, the 39,148 is a more probable or gives us better optimal or it's more optimal. So I think I would rather take the 15-minute or the 30-minute compared to the 1 hour because the entries for the 30-minute and 15-minute are almost to the stop loss of the 1 hour. So I think I would rather take those as opposed to this 1 hour one. Also, there's really nothing convincing with taking, when I turn on the markups, there's nothing really convincing other than the previous daily high. There's nothing really convincing to check that. But currently, US 30 has printed the monthly high, which is at 39,140. So which is closer to the 39,148. So I'd rather take the 15-minute and 30-minute setups for US 30. So we'll see. So I think we're almost at that 15-minute threshold post New York Open. There's really no 1 hour buy on US 30. Price has to come back all the way down here to 38,632. If we turn on our zones, we can see the reason for that because this is the most optimal zone based off of this block down here. This block down here, I don't count it because it's based off of one candle. Remember, we don't trade zones that are based off of one candle because they can easily be taken out by the opposite side. So if it's like a bullish one like this, if we have a strong bearish candle, it's going to wipe that out. So it's just being patient. I think we're going to get the US 30 trade. I think we're going to get the gold trade as well. Actually, no, gold. And this is why I didn't want to sell gold at this zone right here. We have some sell zones here on gold. But if you look at it on a higher type, also at the pattern, we have this possibly a double bottom here, or even if it's a W pattern. But if you see, such a pattern, heavy move like this, then you see consolidation. A good amount of time you come back to complete the structure up here. So as much as gold is in a sell zone, if we turn on our zones indicator, yes, this right here is a sell zone. This right here is a sell zone, but of course, even looking at it, the biggest, it's just one big zone. So if I highlight that, it's a big zone from the top of this candle to the bottom of this candle. And then, so this whole zone, there's nowhere that there's been a split in zone. So remember yesterday we talked about the way to find the split in zones is to find the white borders. So there's no white border between this whole zone. So we know that between 2181 and 2161 is only sellers that are sitting there. But within this zone right here, which is the most optimal area for selling, so it has to be all the way up there. So at this point, that's why I wasn't even looking to take a sell on gold here. But you can still expect some sort of rejection. It might not give you, unless you're a scalper and you're taking like 10 pips profit, it might not be something for somebody like me who's looking for 60 pips TP. We go back to the hourly. So that's the US 31. I think we're going to get this, but we'll have to take it on the 15-minute and 30-minute. For gold on the hourly, let's turn on the zones here. So you can see here, and again, we talked about the zones getting updated in real time. So you see here what's remaining is a zone based off of one candle. So at this point, I'll have to move this supply zone all the way to the top. And I did a replay for you guys yesterday to show you why you need to trade zones that are based off of multiple candles. So if I replay this real quick, you'll see that by the time the candle was here, we had a supply zone within a supply zone here, or in a supply zone. Yeah, there it is, right? So you can see we have this one that's based off of one candle and this other one that's based off of one candle. So that, that brings up an overlap in there. But then if you're trading in real time, you'll see that inner zone got wiped out. So this is why, even though an alert goes off, I normally turn on my zones to make sure that that zone is still holding and it's not being wiped out. So that's another critical part. As much as you can set pending orders in these zones, sometimes you'll have strong candles, and especially if you're trading market open, you'll have strong candles that can blow through your stop loss if you have pending orders. The time that I would suggest doing pending orders, maybe it's during Asian session, but if it starts coming through to New York session or pre-New York session between London and New York, you probably want to cancel your pending orders, because you see in this hourly time frame on EU, if you would set the pending orders, I think the 4-hour is better. You'll see, and we'll go over that. The 4-hour tapped the entry, and you would have been on your way to like a 1:1 right now. But anyway, so right here on gold, what I do right now, I'm no longer interested in that zone. I go for the next optimal zone. So looking at gold, we have a couple of zones here. So we have, I think this zone at the top is still developing. So you look at the overall zone. So the big one, it's from this high to this low. So you already have your big zone right there. So inside that big zone, you ask yourself, which is the most optimal area for selling gold? So this would have to be all the way up here. So that's at 2186, right there. So it might take a while to come in, but that's the optimal one as well. I can see an argument for selling at 2184, because technically this is still a pending zone, because this zone is moving as price is moving. So, but you can see as it's moving, it's leaving a trail showing that this area between 2186 and 2184 is being validated as an inner supply zone. But I'm fine with that. I'm fine to wait for however long that will take, but that's the 1-hour one. I'm not sure, unless gold comes back down here to 2157 for the buy, I'm not seeing a trade for us to take today on the live session. So remember, some of these trade setups, they validate either between 9:30, so which is why I'm really looking at this US30 trade, between 9:30 and 10:30, or between 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for me, I tried to do a cutoff at like, if I see, if a trade validates beyond 2:30, I try not to take it, because you'll probably be stuck in that trade through Asia session, and I'm trying not to get stuck in those trades. Okay, for the 4-hour time frame, we have a US30 trade right here. So let's see. The 4-hour entry is at 39,110. So if we turn on the zones, we'll see why. So so here we have a US30 trade, 39,110. But remember, the US30 15-minute and 30-minute timeframes have a better entry at 39,148. So we do have a current US30 sell running on the 4-hour time frame as well. But for me, I'll wait for the 15-minute and 30-minute, because if you look at it, they're not that far off. So if, for example, the 15-minute and 30-minute were like at 39,120, I would be in this 4-hour zone or 4-hour sell as well, because it wouldn't be that much of a difference. But given that the 15-minute and 30-minute time frame, they're giving us an entry that's almost at our 4-hour and 1-hour stop loss, I think I would rather wait for that. Also, I do, we do talk about how high time frame, higher time frames give you much more confluences and give you much more power in your entries. But you just have to think about it in all those different ways. And also on that 15-minute, we do know we have a weekly or monthly high around 39,148, right? If I turn off the zones, we have the weekly high and monthly high at 39,140. So the 1-hour and 4-hour timeframes, yes, they are helped by the previous daily high. And keep in mind, in this area, we don't have any order blocks, which is good. But the 1 hour and 4 hour, if we didn't have the weekly high and monthly high next to the 15-minute and 30-minute time frames, I would be taking the 1 hour and 4 hour because they are also supported by the previous daily high. But the 15-minute and 30-minute time frames, they're nearer to the to 2 points of interest, the weekly high and the current monthly high. So just better, in my opinion, just better to wait for those. But again, if you do have a confluence for a sell on US 30 based off of where it is, and you can always use like small lots, right? You can always, you don't have to go in, like for me, if I'm doing 1% per trade, I can do like it's what we used to do way back using a filler lot. So maybe using a small lot size that can survive, I don't know, a 20 or a 200 pip move. And then if you get more confluence at the top here, you can scale in with the rest of your size or of your lot sizes. But anyway, so that's the 4 hour on US 30. The other buy zone on US 30 is all the way down here. So it wouldn't be here. This is based off of one candle. So the next buy zone on US 30 on the 4 hour is 38,700. 38,700. One, two, three. Yeah, 38,700 area. So I don't think we'll get that in the live session. That would probably come in maybe tomorrow. For gold, nothing on the 4 hour based off of where price is at. Price is so far away from gold zones today. We have a buy zone at 2157, 2157. Now you can see the reason I took this zone, if you zoom this, you'll see this white border distinction, right? So this is a zone by itself. So it's separate from this zone below here. So we go into that zone by itself and look at where we have inner demand. And then, this also helps to look at the structure to the left. So this is nice enough structure given that this is a 4 hour time frame. And I think this is where we bought gold at yesterday. We bought gold yesterday for the win we had. But today I don't see a trade on gold. Maybe later on in the day if gold comes back down here.
As in,
Mhm.
uh, question. I know how to draw order blocks. Is the supply and demand zones the similar premise?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But mine, they traverse like weeks and weeks. So yeah. So it's a similar concept. But mine, they ideally overlap. So think of this as overlapping order blocks. So if you were to draw overlapping order blocks, or if you were to draw order blocks, and then you just look at the areas where they're overlapping. So that's what ideally this is. It's not order blocks, but yeah, it's more supply and
It's,
demand, but
so
order blocks are also supply and demand,
okay.
depending on how you
That's
look
that's
at it.
kind of what was confusing me. Like there was a difference, but you would still use the last up or down candle to draw it for the most part.
Personally, I if there's a downtrend, I look for the last, or either based off of this, how this indicator is configured. If there's a downtrend, it looks for the last bullish candle. If there's an
Right.
uptrend, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I mean. That's what I was saying. So all right, this is the same premise, and it's the same way you draw all the blocks for the most part.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Right. So this EU trade, if EU comes back up here as well on the 4 hour, I would be looking to take this EU sell. So this is the one I'd sent yesterday in the Discord. So I'm not in this one. It validated at 5 a.m. Eastern time today. So again, that's pre-New York, but this level is still a valid level. Um, so this would be another trade I would be looking to take. So looking at what we have today, I think the only two trades I'll be taking is probably the sell on EU, and also the sell on US 30. So this 4 hour sell on EU and then the 15-minute and 30-minute sell. So I know we have like 10 a.m. I don't know if we have any 10 a.m. news today, but normally we have a spike in price at around 10 a.m. So if we can get that spike towards our 30-minute and 15-minute zones, that's a nice entry for for US 30. Uh, when we look at the momentum entries, so nothing on EU on the hourly, nothing on EU on the no EU buy, no EU sell for the momentum strategy for the 4 hour time frame. No momentum buy, no momentum sell. What's the other one? US 30. US 30. No momentum buy, no momentum sell. No momentum buy, no momentum sell. for the 1 hour time frame. Um, oh no. 1 hour time frame, no valid momentum buy, no valid. Actually, this was a valid momentum sell, but this came in pre-New York, and this would actually have been taken out at stop loss. So this was a valid momentum sell right here. But I think this one would have, yeah,
Isaac,
this
no
one would
losses
have
since you've
gotten
been
stopped.
doing supply and demand, right?
I'm sorry?
No losses yet since you've been doing supply and demand, right?
No, yeah. Yeah, it does take a while to trigger, but when they trigger, they're very nice entries. So we did, oh wait, gold.
I know a
USD.
trader that does supply and demand, and he has like 12 pairs because he waits for it to get to those zones.
Yeah, I mean, even for us, that's what we started with last year. I mean, this is the same strategy, but we were doing supply and demand plus trend lines.
Yeah.
Uh, But the reason I chose to go back to it is because when I added the confluence for supply and demand to the SAR, it's like that was the final, like as much as an SAR was valid, I had to wait for price to come back to those supply and demand zones. So that's why I decided to go back to this because I'm like, because for the SARs, I have to draw those out like every day. But like even right now, we can do the SAR like if we don't have what is this? If we don't have
What's the
any
lowest
any
zones you
immediate
use?
trades.
Like you only use the 4 hour and 1 hour zones. You don't mess with the every
Four
other
hour,
15.
4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute. So this
Oh,
right here, this setup is 15 minute and 30 minute. So this one for momentum can still do the SARs like if we don't have any immediate trades, but right here, even where price is at, no valid SAR. Right there. And even on the 30 minute, let me change this a little bit. Mm, this is a test and rejection. 39,082. This is a test and rejection here. Um, actually, no, it's a test. No, it was a break and continuation. So this would be this. Let's see. I Yeah, like whenever we have time, we can still use the SARs. But this one already went through because this was a break continuation, but this was before New York open. So um wait. There's this one right here. What time? 2:35. But even applying the demand strategy, supply and demand to it, as much as this can be a break and continuation, you'd have to wait for price to come back here, somewhere here. So yeah, but that's a break and continue. But this is you're buying into supply. So that's the part right there. Um, yeah. So let me see. Let's see if we can get that US 30 sell. I do see this validating coming to this 15-minute entry. Hopefully at that turn of the 10 a.m. candle. So let's see if this gets in there or this validates. If not, I think that will be it because there's nothing really I do see. So today is probably just the US 30 and the EU trade. And even this, given this is a 4 hour time frame, unless they have a lot of liquidity to push it up. So the US 30 trade is the only one I do see us taking for today. And yes, so even the 1 hour time frame looks like they've broken that, or they're breaking that. So this then moves up here because they've taken out those suppliers, that inner supply zone right there. So this moves here. And then I just put an alert here. But we'll still see if it's taken out. It depends on how the candle goes, but looks like they've taken that supply out. But currently that's I think there's a lag. Like on my MT4 price is going up, on the hourly here price is going down. All right, let's see if we get this one. So turn on our zones and then we wait for price to get there. But based off of the price action on US30, looks like it's going for a stop hunt, or it might spike just a little bit and then have that quick retracement. But I think we're about to break this highs to come here. Let's turn this off. So if we do that, then we prepare for the entry. We go and find our crossover sell. So we know once we hear this is where the alert is. So if price gets here, then we are looking for a crossover. Let me put, this is the point where we're looking to sell. And then in any time after this zone, we need, the best thing is US30 to spike crazy here and then give us that crossover sell without getting rid of that inner supply zone. So hopefully get it somewhere around here. US30, something like that. So we're probably gonna break that, this highs that are right here. Mm, 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 mm. All right, we need some nice. See, I wanted to check on something. See, BTC, man, BTC is almost at 74K. That's crazy. To see if we get, yeah, I think it doesn't do it on the 4 hour. Oh, I'm sorry, on the 15-minute. Yeah, see, this was a nice buying. I'm trying to see this areas on BTC as well. This was a nice inner demand zone on BTC. But coming up with the risk to reward, I think the last time I tried was something like a $500 stop loss and $1,000 TP on BTC. Yeah, it would be something like that. But I've been looking at BTC as well for the supply and demand. But for BTC, sometimes it takes a while to get to these zones. But this would have been a nice inner demand trade, because you'd have waited for price to get here, entered in on the 5 second or whatever entry that would have given you, you'd have probably got it. So for most of this inner demand, as much as price gets to your zone, that's why you want to also find another confluence to enter, because sometimes price will try to do a stop hunt. So that's why for me, as much as price, like all I do is set an alert and then I come back and go to that crossover buy or crossover sell to look for another confluence, because what that will give you, instead of giving you that entry at the low or at the high of your zone, you might get some manipulation and end up getting your confluence, say, somewhere below here. So that's why for me, even some of these trades I send as a trade idea in the Discord, you'll see that the area I entered is not necessarily like the exact area that I pointed out. So the only way to enter the exact area that I send out is either to set a pending order or to enter in on impulse when price touches that point. But for me, I don't really like entering in on impulse. I like waiting for a little bit more confluence. But yeah, this was a nice inner demand. But I haven't back tested Bitcoin, so that's on my to-do list. But I have been interested in doing BTC. So maybe I'll just start a new chart for it and then just front test it or forward test it with small lot sizes or something. Because that one for BTC, if we go here, it's an easy one to check out Bitcoin. Bitcoin. The low of that candle was 71,709. If we wait for this to load, I don't think, see if it's going to load for Bitcoin. Okay. So 71,709, that was the low here. You wait for that crossover buy, which is this green X right here. And then that would have been the entry for BTC. That's if we were taking it. And it came at 9:58. So even 45 minutes after our yeah, so this would be like a 1:1 right now. Yeah, but I'll do some back testing on Bitcoin and see how it goes. Come on, US 30. Just need a pop. Right, might get that pop. So after the alert goes off, we'll just look for that crossover buy. Oh, I'm sorry, crossover sell. Right. And the other thing we need to look at is that where that previous weekly high is. So current weekly high and current monthly high. Okay, so that's an ongoing. So that's in real time. So that's fine. So it's not like a previous weekly or something. Okay, so there it goes. So we need to make sure. Why didn't my alert go off? Anyway, so there it is. So here, what we need to look for, need to make sure that this zones hold. So if this one, if the bottom one hasn't been taken out, and there it is. So they took out that small zone. So which is fine. If they took out that small zone, again, move it to the next one. So, but at this point, let me see. So they took off that little zone. So this one has that separation. So we have to move up to this other zone right here. I told you guys of that spike. So this is why you need to monitor these zones in real time. And as they're taking it out, you see how they've created that big bullish candle or that big bullish zone right there. So here, same thing. So here, what we do again, turn this off for now, set a pending or set an alert here. So this does take a lot of patience as well, because you have to make sure that your zones are not being wiped out by any buying pressure if you're looking for sales and vice versa. Okay, here on the 30-minute time frame, on the 30-minute time frame, let's see the 30-minute setup. Okay, so there's the 30-minute setup. So the 30-minute setup is still good. The 15-minute setup is the one that has been wiped out. So here, looking at the 30-minute setup, all right, I'll take a sell on US 30. I wanted to come back to that entry point. So for you guys, I would say, of course, like a 0.75%. So I'm still not in yet. Give me 1 second. Let's see how this goes. US 30. Okay. I'm taking a sell on US 30. So for you guys, 0.75% risk. For me, what the where is my trade manager? So I'm in the trade with one account. My other account, the trade manager. I don't know what happened to it. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. Oh God, I entered like 640 lots on my second account. All right, yeah, but I'm in the trade. I'm gonna close out some of this because I entered this trade 5 times on one of my 200Ks. So I'm closing out some of them. Uh, come on. I need to close out one more. Yeah, but that's the trade right there. This one. I need to close out one of these trades. Okay, come on. That 30-minute has been wiped out. So if this comes back, I'll exit both trades as well. So they wiped out that big zone. So if it comes back down to break even, but right now, based off of where we entered, that was fine as well, but it just got wiped out afterwards. But if it comes back down to around break even, I'll take a break even on this one. Also given that this, and just looking at the price action, but if it doesn't come back to break even, that's fine. I'll just take the loss on that. But we should probably get a retracement somewhere around here. I'm more concerned of the account that I still have 2 trades of the same entry running. And so that's the one we are in. If it comes back to break even, I'll exit, or I'll look to exit that trade and then look to set up another sell somewhere around here, or look at the 15-minute and 1 hour timeframes to see if there are any other entries. Because what you don't want to see, you don't want to see your inner supply or inner demand getting wiped out. So most of the trades, you want to see that zone being static and remaining and holding. So we still have this big one right here, which is another reason why you want to have multiple zones, because here, if you're just trading based off of this one zone and we didn't have any other, there would be nothing here. So the buyers would have the leeway to just push price up and up and up. All right. EU, I don't think EU will come back up based off of how it's moving. And this US 30 is pumping. All right. Use this. So here for the next 30-minute one, because I don't want to remove the one we are already in. The next 30-minute setup will be up here. The next 15-minute will be all the way at the top. All right, so we just need this to come back to break even and exit. So if this 30-minute comes back to break even, just go ahead and exit because our inner supply got taken out.
So you wouldn't stay in, even though like it may have tapped into another zone, you know?
Plus, the zone it tapped into is not inner supply, it's just supply, right? So if this was the zone, if it had gone up here, which would be beyond our stop loss and tapped into this zone, then yes, I would have stayed in or something. But right now, the zone it's going in, excuse me, the zone it's going into, yes, it's a supply zone, but it's not strong sellers, right? So
Oh,
because
okay.
the idea of this inner supply and inner demand is to ask yourself, where is price going? So if they're looking to sell and based off of how this is looking, where are they likely to go? They're likely to either go here or more likely all the way up here. So we might still get a rejection here. I'm not sure if the rejection is strong. I'm hoping this rejection is strong enough to get back to break even, but we have a lot of buying pressure. And you can see we have this huge demand zone that has, as much as it's based off of one candle, this huge demand zone that has been created into this supply zone right here. Yeah, not sure if it's going to see. Let's see. So, and here it might drop again as well. So remember, it's not guaranteed that it might not drop. It might like literally reverse from here and keep sinking and sinking, but it's just a matter of probability and how you feel about the trade and how you're looking. So for me, mostly I don't like this one candle zones. So whether it's a buy or sell zone, I like trading in this, those darker zones. Um, So that is the trade right there. And the other part, I wish we had like order blocks, some order blocks around here, like the gold trade from yesterday, where we had the hourly bullish order block. So that's another good thing. So the worst part is that here they can do anyway. So they can either push it all the way up or they can even retrace it from here. Like without any order blocks, it's kind of hard to tell, which is why I was relying on the monthly and weekly high and also the previous daily high. But without order blocks, this can keep pumping till much later. I hit the um so maybe this 4 hour, I'm sorry, this 1 hour at the top here might be an entry for later on. Yeah, she's gonna spike. She's gonna spike up. You can, if you're in it, you can exit with half the loss. For me, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with the risk I'm taking. But yeah, I do see this. I don't think we're gonna have enough downward momentum to come back into break even. I really do hope so, but given this, the way US 30 is acting, she's gonna spike. She might spike up. So what I'm gonna do, if I take this loss, which looks pretty probable, I'm gonna wait later on for either this 262. This 1 hour looks good as well. This 1 hour at 217, but the 262 looks a little bit better. So I'm probably gonna wait for that one as well. And let me actually put in a alert for that zone. So that would be my 2 trades of the day. So as much as I can take a loss on this one, if I take another trade later on, and then I win. So remember those 2 time frames, right? 9:30 to like 10:30 a.m. and also from 12 p.m. To like 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will almost always get some of these trades hitting. And that's why I try to show you guys 15-minute, 30-minute, and 1 hour and 4 hour for US 30 gold and EU. So it's upon you to pick your either best 2 or best 4 trades, and then you can run with those. Mm. And there goes that push to the upside. I'm just annoyed. Like one of my accounts I entered twice. Like that is just the annoying part of this. So still in it on both accounts. Yeah. Almost getting stopped out on one account, actually on both. Okay, I got stopped out on both accounts. So actually that's a 6K loss for me because one account I entered twice, but ended up getting stopped out of that one trade, which is fine. So we already up 2.25% for this month so far. So even with this 0.75 loss, just brings it back down to 1.5. So looking at where price is headed, so that's the 15 minute one. Actually, it was based off of a 30-minute. Entry was probably a little bit further down because it just hit stop loss. So maybe somewhere around there. All right. So looking at where price is headed, and like for me, given that I only take 2 trades a day or at most, if anything. So at this point, I ask myself, which is the next? Looking at all three instruments, I don't think I'm gonna get a gold trade today, maybe later on in the day. So it's either going to be this 4-hour EU trade or this 30-minute 4-hour EU trade, which is at 1.09454. The 1 hour is around the same area, 1.0954. The 4-hour is also at the same place. So the 4-hour and 1-hour trades on EU, 4-hour, 1 hour, and 30-minute trades on EU are around the same area. So either way, so probably the EU trade or the US 30 trade. So at this point, I just have to figure out between US 30 and EU, which is a better, which of the two provide a better setup. So here, looking at this two, on the 15-minute time frame, I have a 39,277 area for selling. For the 30-minute, I have 39,000. Actually, yeah, same area, 39,278 for selling as well. So 15-minute and 30-minute are the same. So I go ahead and add an alert there. I go back down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, I have a 39,217 sell zone on US 30, which I kind of like. 39,217 and also 39,277, which is similar to like the 15-minute and 30-minute. So I think for me, I'll take a US 30 sell at 39,217. I'll take this 1 hour US 30 sell. I'm not too sure it's gonna get to 267 or 277. It might, but I'm not really. It might get there maybe at Asia, but I do still expect some sort of retracement based off of where US 30 is at around 277. I'm sorry, 277, yes, it's better, but 217 looks nice, a nice sell opportunity for me. So if anything, between EU and US 30, and I like US 30, given the two, US 30 moves quicker than EU. So I'll probably take the US 30 sell at 217, 39,217. And that will be my second and last trade of the day. So if I do get that, I will send it in the Discord, or I'll probably send it in the Discord depending on how quick it comes, but I've just put an alert there. And if I do win that trade, so I'm down 1% on one account and 2% on the other account. If I do win this trade, I'll be up 1% on one account and I'll be break even on the other one, the one that I took two back-to-back sales on. Yeah, but anyway, let me know if you guys have any other questions, and then if not, we'll just look for those others. But what I do see a retracement on US 30 between now and maybe 2 p.m., some sort of retracement, and then during Asia, or maybe, yeah, during Asia into London, that's probably when we'll get the 277 selling tomorrow. The 277 area selling tomorrow, because even on the 4-hour time frame, we also have a 222. What is this? So let me change the 1 hour, the 4-hour as well, because that has been taken out. Yeah, so this 4-hour one as well at 39,232. So I guess 39,232 or 39 was the other one that I said, 39,232. Wait, 39,232, 39,217. So I think, yeah, probably 39,217 or 39,232. Just do watch for what price does when it gets to 39,217 or 232. Now that this is a 4-hour one, I'll watch this 39,232 one and see if it's going to be taken out as well. But I'm glad we got to see how how when some of these zones are taken out, price can go against you. So that's another critical point. Like that's why you want to look for supply zones or demand zones that have a lot of overlaps because it takes a lot of pressure to take out those zones. So if you just trade one zone that's based off of one candle, that can easily be taken out. But if you're trading multiple zones that are overlapping, it takes a lot of opposite price action to break that zone. But other than that, unless anybody has any last questions, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Let me send this screenshots in the Discord right now, in the trade ideas. So this is, turn this off. I need to do a screenshot. Give me 1 second. Let me do a screenshot of this so as to put it in my journal. Trades, save. Okay. What we'll do, let me think this through because I need to do a trade recap of this. Let's do this here. So I'm gonna remove this for now for the screenshot. Zones. That's US30. This is gold. You 1 hour entries. Zones. And 4 hour entries right there. All right, so you can check out those trade ideas in the Discord. And then, so just keep in mind in those zones when price gets there, just make sure you're looking for other confluences. And then you can put like your trade alerts there. And when price gets there, just assess what price is doing. Ideally, the other key to that one, you would want to start seeing like the trade on gold yesterday that we took. If you're looking to sell, you want to see lower lows being created or higher lows, like on the 5 minute. You can go to the 5 minute and start seeing that confirmation. You probably won't get that top entry, like if you're using the 5 second time frame like we're using here. But you can do like you can wait for lower lows to be created if you're looking to sell, or if you're doing like buys, you can wait for higher lows to be created on the 5 minute. Maybe you can go down to the 1 minute to even get a better one. But just do like structure of price when price gets to these areas. And if price is just shooting past that zone without even showing any signs of reversals, then you probably want to stay away from those zones and then reassess. But other than that, I will catch you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, peace.